Hey, hello guys, Eric West here, HawaiiRealEstate.org, coming to you live from the beautiful island of Maui, Hawaii. I'm standing here, or I'm kneeling here, stooping here, hiding from the wind. I don't have my microphone with me, so I apologize. I'll try to keep the wind noise to a minimum, but I'm here at Kihei Kai, which is a building that recently collapsed, a partial collapse. I'm going to take you to see that here in just a moment. Now this happened actually a couple weeks ago, but I've had some, clients, interested buyers ask about, hey, what's going on at Kihei Kai? And so one of the nice things about working with someone that's on the island, if you're looking to buy or sell real estate, is someone that's got boots on the ground. And I love doing this stuff. I don't like showing property destruction, but I love being your eyes and ears here on Maui, going and checking out properties and showing what they really look like, apart from the marketing photos, which can be sometimes very deceiving. And so there's always something going on with condos here on Maui, whether they're on the ocean or off the ocean. A lot of details, but let's go dig into what's happening here at Kihei Kai. I'm going to show you the collapsed building, and I'm going to show you where I'm at right now. Now, this is a hot spot for trouble in terms of flooding. Okay, this is the part of this is North Kihei Road. This is North Kihei Road, right where it dumps out, and the way is right over there. And just to give you a sense of where Kai Holly is, just to my north, and then you can see the West Maui Mountains off there in the distance. Sugar Beach Resort is just past where those cars are right there. So just to give you a sense, now the county has spent probably untold millions of dollars with this irrigation, with this area that gets over irrigated. Don't get me wrong, but every year or every 2 years is a massive rain that happens, and it comes down, flows down from Haleakala down here, and there's a runoff issue. And they spent millions of dollars trying to mitigate. And if you remember, right over here is, see where that young gentleman is there waiting for the bus or a pickup? That's Ma'alaya Surf. So if you remember that a few years ago, they had a massive influx of mud. Thankfully, I went and checked that resort. They're looking great, but not so much with Kihei Kai. Now, the interesting thing is, a couple years ago, Kihei Kai was okay because if you look at their foundation, it's actually post and pier. So all the water just flowed, mud, I should say, flowed underneath the building, and it was okay. This year was not the case because there was so much water that came flowing that it undermined the foundation. I'm going to take you up to the front of the building where you can very blatantly see how it is collapsed. And unfortunately, I think it was 4 units in the front row that have been affected. They were occupied, I believe, at the time of the collapse. One occupant was unable to exit their door, and they had to climb out of a window. And this did make the local news, and they interviewed a gentleman who had just purchased his retirement home here and is in one of the units that's affected. So there's still people staying in these back units, if you will, but the front units, as you're about to see here in just a moment, are definitely not occupied. Now, I'm kind of surprised 2 weeks later, it looks like they still have not weatherproofed this unit, because you're going to see up here in just a moment, there's a window that has collapsed and broken as a result of the building going down. So now you can kind of get a sense. This is post and pier right here, and you can see this is the underneath of the building, and as we get further and further along, it slopes down and eventually completely collapses. So here's that unit I was telling you about. You would think after 2 weeks that it put a couple hefty trash bags on there or something to keep moisture from coming into the window, into the unit, creating more damage. Nothing worse than moisture, but you can see right here how the foundation, the wood framing has cracked, and you've got massive undermining here. You can kind of see this beam right here is completely cattywampus. And then you can almost get a sense of where the water was flowing out, how it kind of cut through. You can only imagine the torrent of water that was cruising underneath this condominium. Granted, post and pier is the way to go, but not when you have that volume of water. So this is the portion of the building that is completely unoccupiable, I should say. And you can see a lot of the collapse that occurred And I think they just got done digging out a few days ago, actually. And you can see it's not just here where the water came through, but also this part seems very much so eroded. You can see a buried umbrella. Beautiful shot here of the West Maui's. So this hopefully gives you a sense of where we're located. This is the second longest stretch of contiguous white sandy beach in the state of Hawaii. And this obviously right here is Maui Surf right next door. But can you kind of get a sense of this building and how it's no longer centered? Quite something, huh? And what's too bad is that the county has spent so much time trying to mitigate the drainage issues in this area. You would think that they would have been able to figure out how to keep it from flowing and causing this unnecessary property damage. Well, let's hope the best. Let's hope for the best for these folks. Let's hope they've got some good property insurance that'll help fix this, and these owners will be made whole. Nothing worse than having your big investment or maybe your home collapse, obviously. That's nothing we would wish on anybody. Let's hope that there's good insurance, and let's hope they can get the place weathered in, and let's hope that the county will issue a permit sooner than later. As we know, they say there's over 300, I've heard anywhere from 300 to 700 openings at Maui County, and all of them apparently are at the planning department, where they can't seem to issue any permits because they can't hire anybody to work there. So it's very interesting to see how the government is not responding to the need. Although I've seen them build a road overnight to the dump, and that was very, very easy to do. So I think if they just put the money where their expectations are, things will happen really quickly. Hey, how's it going? No, I'm just kind of taking a look. I'm a real estate agent. Had some clients call me about what's going on here at the building, so I just wanted to come down and see it for myself.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Well, I don't know. What are you telling your clients?
Just kind of showing them the damage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hoping. I was here when the flood happened 2 years ago, and Maui Surf got the.
Oh, did you run that little deal through there? Were you on that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then I noticed you guys were okay because the water went underneath, because this is a post and pier building, and you guys didn't get the mud a couple years ago, but now obviously you had too much water.
The water didn't go under the building 2 years ago.
The mud did.
No. Well, not that much, but
not that much.
No.
So what was the difference this year? Why do you suppose this building got so much more? Because I know Maui Surf is totally looks fine, like there's no mud or anything.
Yeah. Did you see they put floodgates up?
Oh, was that what happened?
Diverted the water.
They diverted the water, and it diverted this direction?
Well, that's the question. The water, there's a lot more water came through here because the water came down back here, never ever did before. And then.
So it was redirected essentially, because I know the county did a bunch of work on that bridge right there. Did none of that take effect?
Well, they didn't do any work on the bridge.
They didn't do any work? Wow.
That way they took some crap out from behind it.
Yeah, no, I meant like a year or so before that last flood, they had done a bunch of construction on that bridge right there.
Well, they put the bridge in.
Right.
You know, that's the thing. It was a federal bridge. It was put in at a, and it was put in with as a Ford, F-O-R-D. And we had a meeting the other night here in Kihei, and one of the county people said, I didn't know what a Ford was. Well, a Ford
right, I didn't either.
It's a low water. It's something you can go through during water.
Right.
But the amount of water that goes under that bridge absolutely cannot handle.
Can't handle that amount.
That much water as it comes down. So consequently, it acts like a dam, and
causes the flooding.
That's what it did when Maui Surf was.
So is it the wrong design essentially?
Oh God, yes.
Obviously.
You know, absolutely. You know, I mean, it was totally stupid. You know,
right.
Because until they put the bridge in, we never had flooding.
Wow.
There was never any flooding here. My family has owned that property here for since 1974.
Never a flood until
Yeah,
they put
well,
the
there
bridge
was a
in.
flood in 2006 when they built the highway.
Yeah.
You know, because they had some construction material that got plugged up their culvert, and then it allowed the water to come down. That's the only one that was ever here until 3 years ago, 2021.
So essentially, the bridge caused the
bridge
flooding.
causes the flooding, absolutely, because no water can go through.
Right,
Now,
it's a
they
big
can talk
dam.
About, well, they can talk about, you know, their contention is that there's 140,000 deer up on Haleakala.
Right.
Because of that, there's no grass growing, and because of no grass
There's
growing,
more mud.
the mud comes down, and,
Right.
and there's certainly
Some truth to it,
that
possibly.
whole thing. But the fact is that, you know, the natural water places for the water to go is through that gulch area there.
Yeah.
But when you get that volume of water and it can't go out,
Yes.
you know, until it gets this high, well then, you know, none of that water that's pooled out there until it gets this high has a place to go, and so it
Yeah.
water seeks its own level.
So the
And
Maui Surf floodgates, were those something that Maui Surf put up
oh yeah.
to divert the water around?
Well, I don't know if they, well, you know, they protected their property.
Yeah.
But what it did, and the beach club did the same thing. You know, they put up floodgates down there, and you know, obviously the canoe club's been flooded,
Yeah.
and the you know, the bakery and the ABC store and all those things have been flooded.
Every year.
But every year, and so you know, what's the solution? Is, you know, we're gonna put a moat around here, put a wall all around all of Kihei, so that the water's got to go someplace.
Yeah. Well, you think the Army Corps of Engineers could figure out a way to make it work?
Well, that's a federal. Well, that's not county.
That's true. But
Yeah.
you said the bridge was put in by the feds.
But it was a federal bridge, federally funded bridge. It
Right.
was designed by the federal government.
Right. That's what I mean.
And it was put in with county approval.
Right.
Now
right.
the question is, can the county remove a federal bridge? And the answer is, I don't know. But all I do know is that, you know, my unit is now on the ground over there.
Yeah. Oh, so your unit's one of the ones that was affected.
I was in there when it started to collapse.
Oh, really?
2:30 in the morning, and we were in the units. And,
Wow.
so we were lucky we were able to get the people that were in that unit up there had to go out through the window because they couldn't get the door.
They couldn't get the door because if the structure had already
It already,
been.
it already
Wow.
started to collapse. And
So are you able to live in your unit?
Oh, hell
no. So you got to live somewhere else.
well, we had another unit that my wife owned both of those units, and so
Oh, I got
we
you.
moved into the other.
Oh,
My
thankfully.
brother-in-law was in that unit. We kicked him out, and sent him home, and moved in. Like, we, you know, I mean, if you saw, I mean, you can't imagine. I mean, you're here today. You should have seen this the day after the flood.
Crazy,
You know?
huh?
Oh, we had this much debris in the parking lot. You know, we had front end loaders, all kinds of big equipment to get the parking lot cleared out. There was this much debris all around the building, and that was
Wow.
all taken out by hand by us. And then there was that much debris. The debris was up to that green, all that concrete there was covered with debris up to that level, and it came all the way out to past that green thing there, was just totally filled in there.
Wow.
There was debris out here and debris out here. We removed all of that. And
Will the insurance cover this damage, you think?
well, we have FEMA we have flood insurance with FEMA. The question is, you know, we have hired a structural engineer and a project manager to come and evaluate what we can do. And
Yeah.
the idea is, hopefully, lift the thing up and remodel it.
Mud
rebuild
jacket?
Yeah.
Because probably just some of the piers just
Yeah,
got
they
completely...
got eroded underneath them, and they probably fell over.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
that allowed it to drop. So,
Yeah. Well, I'm so sorry for your loss, man. That's no good. That's
well,
no good.
you know, it's the big thing is getting the permitting done.
Boy, yeah.
But if you've been up to Lahaina, you know what it's like.
Unbelievable.
Permitting done.
Yeah, they're
you know,
so
that's-
far behind.
That's the thing.
And they say they're understaffed, and it's like, look, man, you can put money at that job and hire people. That's totally doable. They
Well-
built a road to the dump in a day, you know. They can't fill a pothole in Kapalua for 6 months, but they build a road in a day.
Yeah.
So if they
Yeah.
want to do something, they can do
get
it.
Well, this road we washed out at Kihei for the second time down here.
Uh-huh.
You know, and that they got that. It's going to be open at the end of the. And they said by the end of the month it'll be open again. Well, they can do things when they want to.
Exactly.
You know, sure.
Yeah. So that the permitting thing is by design, and unfortunately,
Yeah.
anybody that wants to do anything right now in Maui is going to wait. They say it used to take 2 years to build a house. Now it's 3 to 4.
Yeah.
And a lot of the friends I know that have houses and businesses in Lahaina are being told that nothing's going to be built for 4 years.
And why? You know, I mean, because you can't let you do a permit.
Exactly.
Now I realize that construction's an issue. You know, you got to.
Well,
have,
yeah, cost of
you gotta have
materials
people,
and
you got to
people,
have
yeah.
stuff to do.
Those
you
are
gotta have
natural
all that
bottlenecks.
stuff. Absolutely.
But
you have to have the.
But the red tape shouldn't be a bottleneck.
Yeah,
Not in an
no,
emergency
not
situation.
in an emergency situation.
Right? If they cared so much about the locals and for providing housing,
Yeah.
they'd hire 50 people at $80. I mean, I know of contractors that are renting $30,000-$40,000 a month homes. So the
Yeah.
money's there.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the money's there. It's just they're not putting it
But,
where.
you know, the idea that you can't do something versus you can do something is the contradiction in terms for me.
Yeah.
Because in times of trials, that's when the can-do people show up,
You're right.
not the can't-do.
Correct.
And so, you know, if you figure out a way to let those people that can do it loose, they'll do it.
Oh yeah.
You just got to stand out of the way and
Immediately.
let them get their job done.
Yeah, like so many people reached out to help people on this island after the fire, and they just got stonewalled by the government. They're willing to send over this, that, and the other thing, and it was just sort of. I mean, a lot of help did come over. Don't get me wrong, but there's so many opportunities that were
Well,
missed.
if you're in real estate, you know that what's happened with short-term rentals on Maui,
Well, yeah,
and it's directly related to the governor sending everybody out of here after the fire. They made us empty this building.
really.
Yeah, VRBO and Airbnb in force majeure and made us empty the building because they wanted all this extra space for the homeless that had been, you know, they weren't gonna. It was just stupid.
Nobody moved in.
No.
Right. I heard that there was so
No,
many empty
They
female.
were empty everywhere. And, you know, essentially all of in 2023, all of from the whatever it was 15th of August until the end of October, whenever they said, and then he thought those people were going to go back to the mainland. They just went to Oahu and they went to Kauai. They didn't go back to California. They were on vacation. You know,
Right.
so they just had to stick in the airport for a day or so till they could get someplace else.
Right. Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, the system's broken, man. But anyway, yeah. Thanks for letting me come down here.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you were the manager or whatever.
No,
but,
I'm a homeowner, and I'm a president of our rental association.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I'm Eric West. Nice to meet
Mark
you.
Hungerford. Nice to
Mark.
meet you. Yeah.
Thank you so much, man.
So-
I'll get out of your hair, but thanks
Yeah.
for the inside scoop. And
Sure.
anything I can do, let me know.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, by the way, I noticed this window is still not sealed, weather sealed. Are they going to put some?
that's my unit right there.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. That's actually that. If you look here on this side, that's where the water enters right back here.
So the water was right.
Well, the water was coming down the front, but then as it got higher and higher, then it started to enter from the other. I came across from Kaihali because they're higher, but I mean, you can see they're like 2 feet higher.
Yeah.
And so then that put the pressure underneath here. So then the water started to enter here, and then you can see, the hole there where.
Oh my gosh.
Where
Yeah.
where the water went down underneath, and once it went down underneath, then it went.
It was
that
over.
way.
Yeah.
And it's sand, so sand you can pack, but you can erode pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And we've actually called Restore the day after it happened, and they
Nothing yet.
no, they won't come out and do anything. They say, "Oh, we don't have people come out and seal this up."
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So if you have somebody that you know that could put some plywood up, I really like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I know some people that can help with that because you want to get that weather tight.
We really want all of the units to be weather tight.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunately we haven't been able to get that done.
Yeah. Welcome to Maui.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if I think of anybody.
Yeah. Send them by.
I
We'll be
will.
happy to.
All right. Sounds good, man. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks.
Aloha.
You bet.
Interesting inside scoop. So he brought up a very good point, which is in years past, there was no flooding down here until they put the bridge in, the federal government. And then this particular property did not flood the last time, but now because Maalaea Surf has got their floodgates up, essentially, water got redirected and ended up on this property. So, had not taken all those things into consideration, obviously. So, well, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed a little bit of inside information here. Take you guys out back to the road. And this obviously is the entrance to the property. You can still see some of the mud left over, some of the staining from the mud here in the driveway, and some of the debris that's still kind of stacked up over there. So what a mess, huh? All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. If you enjoy content like this, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you ever need some boots on the ground on Maui to help you with your upcoming purchase, definitely want to have someone that's checking stuff out in person. And I always try to see it for myself, because you know, there's nothing like, just like when you buy a property, right? There's nothing like going and talking to the neighbors, talking to someone that's staying at the property, just because that's where you get the real information sometimes. So thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate it. Until next time, Eric West out.